The opposition NDC takes its case to the police CID, defending slain soldiers and criticizing the Ghana Armed Forces for failing to take decisive action against MPP parliamentary candidate for Amenfi East, who asked miners to attack state security personnel.
We believe that what the military did has demonstrated weakness, it has demonstrated cowardice, and that is unacceptable. Coming from the brigadier general, someone holding such a high office should know better. And you can consult with other security experts. They will tell you that that statement is shambolic.
Well, joining us is learning tonight, the police have finally been questioning the parliamentary candidate in the last couple of hours. We have the latest.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
In the last hour, Joy News has been learning the police is finally taking action against the MPP parliamentary candidate for Amenfi East, Ernest Frimpong, who was heard in that viral video asking miners to attack state security personnel. Now, it comes in the day the opposition National Democratic Congress took on the Ghana Armed Forces, accusing it of failing to take decisive action on the issue. Now, the force had issued a statement to condemn calls for citizens to attack the military in the wake of the comments by the parliamentary candidate. They, however, failed to mention the MPP parliamentary candidate by name. The NDC now says they will be filing a formal complaint with the police CID. More on that shortly. But first, my colleague Samuel Mbura has been working his security sources and joins me in the studio with more on this. Mbura, in the last hour, we've been learning a bit more about what the police in particular has decided to do. What are your security sources telling you?
Well, Evans, I've been checking with my security sources, and what I have been told is that Ernest Frimpong, the MPP parliamentary candidate for Amenfi East in the Western region, was actually invited yesterday, and he spent the whole day at the police station. But I wasn't told where the specific police station that he was sent to for questioning. So after that, he was released to go back home, and today he did say, reported back to the police, and he has officially been asked to write a statement in which the police is currently interrogating. I can say that in the last 30 minutes, he has been engaging the commander, and it is unclear as to whether they'll release him today to go or not.
Okay, let's bring in right now the chairman of the Municipal Security Council for Amenfi East, Frederick Crunchy, who is also the municipal chief executive, with more on this unfolding story. Can you please confirm reports that the candidate in question is now formally under criminal investigations led by the police?
Yeah, good evening, my brother. I can confirm Mr. Ernest Frimpong is currently at Takwa Regional Police Quarters upon invitation by the Regional Police Command. And as we speak, he's still there. I understand about 30 minutes ago he finished taking his statement, and he's seeking a bail. He went there with a lawyer to grant him an inquiry bail for the meantime, and then maybe he'll be reporting himself in the next days. Then we look at the way forward.
So he was formally arrested then?
Yeah, he was invited. You know, when this my brother, let me make this statement clear. The meeting happened about 2 months ago. So it was when the video popped up, he was not in the constituency. So when the police called him, he was far away. I think he was in Kumasi. So he had to take the whole day. Yesterday, he reported himself to the police, and then today they took his statement. He's still with them, but I'm sure they will grant him a bail today.
Okay, so if he's been granted bail, that presumes he's then been formally arrested. He's been formally arrested. Has he been charged with anything?
Yes, but because of the magnitude of the issue, we decided to refer the issue to the Regional Police Command. So regional crime officer can speak to that to that about the charges they charge him, they put on him. But I cannot speak to the charges because the municipal security was not involved because of the magnitude of the issue.
Why did it take this long for the police to take action?
You know, like I said, the meeting, I understand the meeting happened about 2 months ago, and we were not aware. In fact, security was not aware about the content of the video until it pops up. So when it popped up, I think that we saw the video over the weekend. So he was invited on Monday. They placed the call on him on Monday, and then yesterday he reported himself to the police. So I will not say it has taken too much long.
What he's heard saying when he was talking to the miners, or asking the miners to attack the military, the state security personnel. You are in Amenfi East. Since this pronouncement was made, since you addressed the miners, what has been the reaction among miners there?
My brother, let me say that Amenfi East has been, the Amenfi East people are law-abiding. We have been living very peacefully with the security services, not even when they are provoked. You remember about 2 months ago, a young man, 28 years boy, Kofi Ade, was shot by a policeman unprovoked, but the youth remained calm when the man died. During the burial, they comported themselves, abide by the laws, allow the laws of the land to work. And as we speak, we still have confidence in the police to carry out investigations and then bring the perpetrator to book. So even at that level, the youth did not attack the security service. So I don't see this statement going beyond provoking or even inciting the youth to attack the security services. In fact, the police service can attest to the fact that Amenfi East people are law-abiding. They have been working with the police and the security services because we know the nature of work we do here, the mining and then other business activities, that always we have armed robbery cases happening here. We have been relying so much on the security services to combat these robbery cases. So we are not doing anything to withdraw any security men from our vicinity. We know that without them we cannot work. Without them we cannot sleep. So security situation here, I can say, is very calm. It's very calm here.
Now, the parliamentary candidate was clear that the security forces have been harassing the miners. Do you still have anti-Galamsey security operations in Amenfi East?
Yeah, we do have anti-Galamsey security forces here, and they've been going around, trying to at least control the activities. One good thing is that Amenfi East is pride of protecting our forests and the river body. We have 2 forests, the Tonton Forest and then the Supunu Forest. That one, the forests are intact. We still have issue with those people working on the dry land, which leaves the pit uncovered, and that is what we are trying to control. And in doing that, I think this is one of the things that the candidate wanted to meet them to, guide them. That is what caused this. I'll call it misfire. That he misfired. But I would say in our Akandalik, yes, by all means, once we are trying to control them, you one way or the other misfire. So it's one of those things.
The comments that were made, though, as the chair of the Municipal Security Council, what's your own view on these comments?
In fact, I would say it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, and that is why we have referred the issue to a regional police command. Municipal security didn't want to involve ourselves because it might escalate. That is why we have referred the issue to the higher authority to take the issue up. So I will condemn it outright. But I will say the youth will not rely on this comment to attack the security. We have had a very serious issue before, but it did not warrant for any attack. So I don't see this comment to warrant for any attack on security service.
And the men will remain on the ground. Do you also have military men in uniform there operating lawfully?
They come as and when it's required. We usually use policemen to do our operations, but as and when it requires, we rely on the military to also come and then assist.
Thank you very much. And that there is the Municipal Security Council Chair of Amenfi East. He himself is the MCE for that particular area, joining us tonight. If you're just joining us, the police have formally now arrested the MPP parliamentary candidate for Amenfi East, who's heading that viral video asking minors to attack state security forces. As we speak, he's currently with the police at the police command. They are looking into this, and he is now a subject of that criminal investigation. It's uncertain whether he will be granted bail or not, but the municipal security chair just confirmed to us that's something that his lawyers are asking for right now as the police continue with their probe into this particular matter. And as you know, here on Joy 99.7 FM, Ernest Frimpong, the parliamentary candidate himself, was forced to retract the comments he made.
I vehemently retract the statement made and deny that I have incited these minors to attack men in uniform. The men in uniform are our people, and we are together. We are building one country, and that nobody who is a Ghanaian can disturb the peace we are enjoying now. And that it will not be me that will start to call on these things to happen in the country.
I just need clarity. You said you retract, but then you say you deny that you make the pronouncement. So what are you retracting exactly?
I didn't say I deny. I never denied. Even when you asked me if I'm the one who said it, I said yes, I said it.
So you retract unreservedly. This is an unqualified retraction, is it?
Yes, please, it is.
Well, opposition National Democratic Congress, they have today been taking on the Ghana Armed Forces for failing to take decisive action. As you know, the Ghana Armed Forces, they were the first security agency to issue a statement on this particular matter, although they didn't quite refer specifically to the comments made by the MPP parliamentary candidate. That's the issue that the NDC is taking with them tonight. And they've served notice in a formal statement that they'll be filing a complaint with the police CID. We can now speak to the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC who joins us now. Also joining me right now is Colonel Festus Abuaji. He's a security analyst himself, a former security military officer, and joins us too. Colonel Festus Abuaji, thanks for your time here on Top Story.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Evans.
Also, Mr. Gbande, Mr. Gbande, just a quick check with you. Have you filed this complaint yet with the CID?
We have not filed the complaint yet. We are currently also monitoring the situation and every development into this matter. Evans, we all know that the Ghana Armed Forces is a sacred institution that represents our strength, that is supposed to be protecting our territorial integrity. The leadership of the armed forces have lost control, have lost a sense of pride. I can say that they have reduced the military to an ordinary militia organization, because today, members of the Ghana Armed Forces, soldiers are bodyguards of MPs. Military is used for every single dirty work of this government. Recently, you saw how a trained officer was killed like a fowl. What is the command doing? It simply means the hierarchy of the Ghana Armed Forces is corrupt and have lost their sense of integrity.
I mean, how do you come to this conclusion? Just on the back of one case?
I come to the conclusion of this because the military is supposed not to be engaged in the kind of things they are engaged in.
But on this specific matter, they issued a statement. They condemned all calls on citizens to attack security personnel, including the Ghana Armed Forces.
Someone calling for soldiers to be attacked, and the military high command have reduced themselves to administrators writing letters.
What else can they do?
Is the president not the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces? The third parliamentary candidate, is he not a parliamentary candidate of the ruling government?
As we speak tonight, you may just have heard, he's been arrested now. He's currently being questioned. He has to be granted bail.
Evans, we were here when an MP who was caught bribing claimed to have been arrested. Where is the case now? Evans, soldiers are dying. People used to join the military
out of a sense of pride, the desire to defend their country. Today, soldiers are being killed in Galamsey side like chicken fowls. That is not a concern to our nation. Soldiers are being used as bodyguards of ministers. Attorney General, his bodyguard, his driver is a soldier. Apenyo Markin's office, when you go, it is the military who sits there. What is their business there? The military into something else.
Stay with me. Let me bring in Ken Officer Sabaji. Ken Officer Sabaji, so this particular incident in question here, the Ghana Armed Forces issued their statement. They condemned all calls on citizens to attack men in uniform. Of course, they failed to mention this particular incident by name. You saw the statement. What was your reaction when you saw it and the way they dealt with it?
Well, I've had the occasion to pronounce myself on this situation on a couple of stations. I see that armed forces statement as a declaration of war to the civilian population of the state. And that should not be the case. Even if civilians kill a section, a platoon, a company, it does not warrant the armed forces to declare war on any segment of the civilian population.
I wonder how you interpret that to me, a declaration of war, with aspects of this specifically.
Well, look at the words that were used. If you understand the words that were used, it amounts to that the soldiers will shoot to kill, to defend and protect themselves if attacked. But one of the fundamental questions are, under what circumstances are soldiers attacked? We need to answer that question. Invariably, and I maintain that the political authorities are misapplying the armed forces. They are using them for assignments that they should not be involved in, including election security management. That is not the business of the armed forces. And when you sit before your TV screen and you see a soldier protecting an attorney general in a democracy that is not at war, that is peaceful, or a soldier holding the handbag, a lady's handbag of a political party lawyer, that is a disgrace to the armed forces. But all of this is happening because what we call civil oversight or civilian control of the armed forces has collapsed. I would have expected that the Minister of Defense would have pronounced itself on the statement that the armed forces made. Indeed, the armed forces should not have made that statement.
So you're referring to this
because
line...
I'm arguing...
You're referring to this line...
I'm arguing that in this civil-military relations, these ministries and their ministers and all the officials in authority are supposed to mediate tensions between society and the security services.
Yeah, Colonel, just for clarity, you're referring to this third paragraph in your statement where the Ghana forces say that it's important to note soldiers, like any individuals, have the right to self-defense when faced with imminent threats or attacks that pose a danger to their lives or the lives of others. In situations where soldiers are confronted with immediate threats or acts of violence, they are allowed to use necessary and proportionate force to protect themselves and others. Is that what you're referring to?
That is what I'm referring to.
But isn't that fair, though?
We
proportionate
must not
force
cloud this thing in these words. Let's go to Nigeria, for instance. And I maintain that the fact that you've been given an order to open fire doesn't mean that you open fire anyhow.
Yeah, but Colonel, you make the point about declaration of war. Just a second, declaration of war, but they make the point about proportionate force. Isn't that what the standard protocol is?
It doesn't matter. That's the point I'm trying to make. Because I shudder to think that in the UK or in one of these European democracies, the chief of the defense forces, Lieutenant General Jackson of the UK, I think he's retired, will come on air and declare that because a British soldier has been killed, the British Armed Forces reserve the right to use force to protect themselves. They wouldn't do that. So to protect the armed forces from all of this hula baloo, The ministry is the one that should mediate. Unfortunately, as a chairman, it was the same ministry that came and told Ghanaians that if they do the sort of things that those criminals did, not the Ashaman community, those criminals did, then the armed forces will retaliate. And it turned out that it was not the community. It was just two criminals who took the law into their hands. So the whole narrative is that those in authority over these institutions, I'm afraid to say, don't know what, civilian control of security services are about. They don't understand. And they don't know it. And they are not prepared to know it because they want to use the armed forces to do the dirty work that will keep them in power. Now, on the question of the police having arrested this gentleman, there's another principle of democratic policing, and we call it predictability. Predictability that the citizens and the police know what the laws are, and all of us understand that if we offend the law, we'll be dealt with. Why did it take that long for this parliamentary candidate to be arrested?
Well, the MC
And
explained.
indeed,
The MC
what
explained.
are we doing?
Yeah, the MC explained why. He says, first of all, this happened weeks ago, but of course only came to public attention when that video went viral, and that the MCE was invited, and this came to light over the weekend, was invited this week to come for questioning, which is what now has materialized in this formal arrest. Hello, can I
What did he say, please?
No, I mean he was explaining. He was explaining the MC. You asked the question, why has it taken this long? The MC explained that the pronouncements were made a month ago and only came to light this weekend when the viral video, of course, started circulating. And shortly thereafter, that was on Monday, he was formally asked to come to the police station for processing to start, which is why we're seeing him being questioned now.
You see, that is not the context. Even if it was made 1 year ago and it comes into the public domain 24 hours ago, within that 24-hour period, the certainty, the predictability of the police acting based on their professional standards and not on the standard of order from above is that the man should have been arrested. That video started running its rounds. But it didn't happen that way. It's taking more than 48 hours because I saw that video, not yesterday. You see what I mean? Now, if we run a democracy on the basis of selective justice, that you and I commit a similar offense, I'm dealt with and I have my own experience to recount. Other people after me have done worse things and not a scratch has touched their skin. Then we come out boldly saying that we are Democrats. They are not Democrats. You see what I mean? And we are running this country into a danger. That's the point I want to make. Because the people in authority forget about their degrees, forget that they are MPs, whatever they are. And I've recounted how, anecdotally, a certain MP has a certain list of soldiers that he wants to transfer their votes to his constituency. Is he the CDS or the army commander to deploy those soldiers when they have to monitor the elections? So what authority has an MP got or a minister to do those kinds of things?
Mustafa Gbande, so the man has been arrested now. Would you so proceed with your complaint to the CID?
Well, I've also argued
abuse,
that
this whole
this
abuse
idea
of the
that
military. But can you hear me?
I can, yes.
This whole abuse of the military goes beyond using them in Galamsey pits and all of that.
Mustafa, I'm asking a specific question. The man has been arrested now. Will you so proceed with your complaint?
That is not enough. The statement was made in the presence of a minister. The minister also has things he has said, subsequent on what the PC have said, that they have created opportunity deliberately for illegal mining to be going on. That in itself is a crime. Why is he not arrested? Why is the minister not arrested?
So you also want the Western Regional Minister arrested?
he should be arrested because they were planning to commit crimes.
I mean, what's the basis of this, Mustafa Bandi? The man was just only seen seated at the same event where the pronouncements were made.
In one meeting, one of them said, attack soldiers. The other one said, we have created an environment for you to do the wrong thing. Okay? It is not so the fact that NDC is against these miners who are in the communities. No, that is not the case. The case is that the same government have hijacked these mining sites, allowed their ministers and high officials to do illegal mining, only to allow the young men to go into the bush because of election. Let us make that record very emphatic. Because the fact is that they are only doing that for election. In the last 7 years, it has been ministers and MPs doing illegal mining in the villages. And so why has suddenly the military become a target? Are they trying to allow the young men have a bad blood with the military? You see, evil people, that is what they do. You see, in the last 7 years, it has been ministers and MPs who are high-up officials within President Akufo-Addo's presidency who are engaged in illegal mining.
And you have evidence of this, and yet you haven't filed a complaint with the police?
That is why we have stated it was this whole hawk and bull story of apology is predicated on our threat that we will file a complaint. That is how come they are running to arrest the guy now and leaving the regional minister in whose presence this thing was done.
You made allegations that ministers and MPs are engaged in illegal mining, and you know this,
not,
and yet you haven't taken action.
Not just ministers and MPs, people in the presidency, President Akufo-Addo's presidency,
and you know
were
this
the
as a
ones
citizen.
using the military
You know
with the
this,
endorsement of the military high command to do illegal mining.
You know this as a citizen, and yet you haven't taken your civic
we know
responsibility
it as a fact,
to go to the police.
I've spoken about it on your network here. Ministers have spoken about it. CSOs have spoken about it. And this is the time they are trying to cause confusion to exploit the young men in the village.
And that there is Mustafa Bande, he's the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Earlier you had Colonel Festus Abwaji, he's a security analyst on the developing story around the Menfi East parliamentary candidate who, as you know by now, has now been arrested. He's in the last hour being questioned by the police, and we don't know yet what he's been charged with, but the MC says he expects that he has been charged and that the police central command is handling this particular matter because he says it's a serious matter and has been referred then to the central command to deal with. I want to hear from you, especially if you come from Menfi East and that part of the country. Share your thoughts with us on the show here on Newsnight. We start in an hour. 05511119997.
Auntie T, I beg, fix me go betete Ghana. No gari, no oil, no plantain, just beans then eggs.
Hey, brah, that be dangerous combination, no?
Problem no day. I feel handle am.
For Telecel, with the Bob say everybody gets what they like. That be why Made For Me bundles day. Based on your usage, you fit get your own data and call packages. Fala! Made For Me bundles like the way you the want town. That *530# then buy Made For Me bundles today.
Telecel, connecting energies.
You worked hard for your money, and DSTV gives you a whole lot more for a lot less than you think. Instead of one takeout dinner, how about treating the family to a whole month of the best entertainment with DSTV? From thrilling sports, blockbusters, captivating series, to entertaining kid shows, we have it all.
Totally awesome.
And with DSTV Stream, you can watch on the go.
I'm here.
Plus, you can choose a package to suit your pocket. There's a whole lot more to enjoy for a lot less than you think with DSTV.
In the next 60 minutes, you're on Newsnight. Vice President and MPP flag bearer Dr. Bawumia in a charm offensive in the party's stronghold of the Ashanti region. We'll hear from the Asantehene, who has been asking the Vice President to acknowledge economic shortfalls and present candid, pragmatic solutions to the country's challenges. We'll hear from some chiefs in the Ashanti region who are already warning the Vice President to ensure that he keeps his word if elected.
On making sure, say, in Yamawakano, only so.
At the district assembly level, a whole number saying, say, on share honum kakra. Not government powers, no, omuntimin decentralizing the kakra.
Also, tonight, Minority issues 24-hour ultimatum to government to clear all Global Fund locked-up consignments of medication from the ports of Faziroth.
It is our expectation that within the next 24 hours, we must hear something positive with regards to the clearing of the containers containing the drugs from the port.
Well, details as the Minority calls for an explanation as to how 80 million cedis allocation for counterpart funding was used.
And what shocks me is that in the 2023 National Health Insurance Formula, an allocation of not less than 80 million Ghana cedis was made to that effect.
And in business, government station expresses concerns over jump in inflation on transportation as he calls on policymakers to address issues causing fuel price increases.
And in sports, the Ghana Football Association is hailing Otoado for recent forms of the Black Stars, but urges Ghanaians to be measured in the expectations of the team.
Also tonight, uncertainty over this year's BECE and WASI examinations, with government owing WAEC 300 million cedis. We are in Parliament tonight, where the Minority have been asking the government to cough up the funds.
For basic education, we won't talk about that because they owe them well over 90 million.
The BEC is coming on next month, and they need to prepare financially with resources.
That if the trend should continue this way, then they are going to have problems with the conduct of the examination.
I'll take your views and comments here on News 9055 1111997. My name is Evan Spencer. Election headquarters is always brought to you by Petrosol Clean Fuel in full quantity. CIMA, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, AICPA, and CIMA together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, the German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness, and Beauty, Chalkbox Technologies, a convenient service, and U-Bridge Foundation. I want to take you to the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi, tonight, where the Vice President and MPP flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has been on a charm offensive there, meeting with chiefs in an attempt to woo them ahead of this year's elections. And we've also been hearing tonight from the Asantehene himself, Otumfuo Osei II. He's been asking the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party to acknowledge the shortcomings of the current government and also propose pragmatic solutions to the challenges that the country is facing. I want to take you live there now. I want to bring in Nana Boakye Yadom, who's been following the Vice President today on his rounds and joins us right now. And Nana, let's start with the Asantehene himself. He's been pretty candid today, not mentioning words as he engaged the Vice President.
Well, Evans, the Asantehene has come clear to the New Patriotic Party's flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He tells him that he must admit the current economic shortfalls. He must tell Ghanaians the real situation on the ground. He must come clear to the people of Ghana. The Asantehene has been saying that for Ghanaians to trust the Vice President and his government in seeking another term, which is the third term, the Vice President must admit the current shortfalls of the current government, that is the Akufo-Addo Bawumia-led government. for the MPP to gain the trust, for the people of Ghana to gain the trust of the MPP, for them to vote for them in the 2024 December 7th election. This is what the Asante had to say.
Magana for who you are can help Magana for you now, tears, any who is some passes a woman dinner chair. Bow between I and Sakraya Magana Kosu. Once a sign, I would rather Fabu and any dear Magana for you now, and want to pass in church, the old beyond. So far, the old church in Wins and Partner Yame Bonagana, see now Yapan Badia. So Bayamagana, Yama. Moye party for a pinso epequia baby. Indeed, or no war power banner now so once we hear more natures, I would be an army at Tiasia. Omo cry, ye knew of a cry, church, me and Tiasia. Near Hunusa and Passe. Say you knew what crowd, the walking dear. And Passia Boa, who bow being ye. It is now one and I could for my dream. And when they who the Akam when they catch a Ghana for say, Mensume Bar, Mensume to us what could you say? Manipan who say, wouldn't him say Hana Akamu, Nanso Mensume Bar, may we and it's our Umbejuadi. Now, over father say, Ya, and the may badia, Yabeka said, and ye be at Yakem.
So, Evans, what the Asante is trying to say is that, well, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia should come clear to the people of Ghana. He should lay out his vision and what he intends to do when given the nod to lead the people in 2025. He should make sure that he admits what the Akufo-Addo government, the shortfalls that the Akufo-Addo government have made so far, and also be specific with his own vision, especially with his vision and his aim of digitalizing every sector of the economy. And that is clearly what the Asante have to say about the shortfalls and how Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia should admit to that.
And there were other chiefs there who had their own demands of the vice president.
Well, Evans, the Bantu Mahine and the Oyokohini were given the chance to address the vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. After the vice president had his chance to speak, the Asantini had to speak, but then the Asantini designated the Bantu Mahine and the Oyokohini to first speak before the Asantini would take on to address the vice president. Well, when the Bantu Mahine had the chance to speak, he asked the vice president to be bold about his decision to, or his digitalization drive. The chiefs earlier on, when they met the vice president at the Ashanti Regional House of Chiefs, clearly heard what the vice president said about digitalization and then giving them living allowances. And so for the Bantu Mahine and the Oyokohini, it is left with the vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to be bold when elected as president to make sure that his promises are delivered well to them.
Sebi, Dibiayira, Oka privatization of the economy, say, bed and I were a buying soon, Esundodo. Abra, Nipa Wokrum ha, Ejumani Bino, Ombetumaye. Into ordinary Ashohono, Yebedanase. Now, baby, Yedebeka Hone, decentralization of the government at the district assembly level. A whole number say, onshore honum kakra. Now, government powers no, omuntimin decentralizing the kakra. Yebedanase.
On koso or bar, on making sure say, in Yama Wakano, Oniso, on Fanye Jumapa. Time be a buying be baban, or barbe ye, adia, the dead and no catching. No, or bemwa, 1 year sadden. Tiasreno 1 year, dear Wakano, cause ye de ye.
And that is the Oyokohini who first spoke, asking the vice president to decentralize his government when he's giving the nod to lead the people in 2025. The Bantu Mahine who took on after the Oyokohini also asked him to be bold. He says that he must be bold because the chiefs are listening. And when giving the nod in 2025, if the vice president fails to comply to all the promises he himself has been making to them, they would come back to him and remind him of that.
And Bawumia himself, what was his own assurance to the chiefs?
Well, the vice president has assured the Asante and the Kumasi Traditional Council of his commitment to living up to his promises, especially when it comes to the fight against illegal mining and how he intends to tackle them, and also his promise of giving them living allowances, and also the fact that he intends to amend portions of the Chieftaincy Act to make sure that enough power is given to the chiefs for them to also be able to contribute to the governance system.
Small-scale mining is concerned. We say ahimfo. be more involved so that you bet me a check galamsey at the district level. But as long as the chiefs have an interest in the mining, no, they will make sure say ebeko ye and there will be no distraction. A review of the Chieftaincy Act, Section 63. Medium me share said the Ghana AC Kono. Say ye tikakra. Usha ahimfu are not as involved in governance of the country.
Nana, and the vice president, apart from meeting with the chiefs, has also been meeting with some professional groups today, and has also been taking a tour through the town.
Well, Evans, yes, that's true. The vice president, right after his engagement with the Asante Otumfuo Osei, met the Ashanti businessmen at the Ahojo, where he also laid out his vision on import duties and how he intends to tackle the city with gold by backing the city with gold, and to also make sure that businesses thrive in 2025 if elected as president. After that, he has met the Kumasi Kejetia Market Queen Mothers. Just right now, he concluded his meeting with the Kejetia Market Queen Mothers, assuring them of his intention or his policies in making sure that businesses do thrive when elected president. Well, they also raised concerns about the second phase of the Kumasi Central Market project, which has been stalled for quite some time now. The vice president has assured them that he is going to make sure that the president and government attends to that project in no time. And so this has been how the vice president wraps up his campaign tour, his 3-day campaign tour in the Ashanti region, Evans.
And I thank you very much. He's been following the vice president there. Also joining me right now on the line, I want to bring in the campaign spokesperson for the Bawumia team, Dennis Miracles Obwaji, who joins us on the line right now. We'll also be speaking to Professor Ali Lusedu, who's the head of the Political Science Department at the University of Ghana. Miracles, thanks for your time here on Newsnight. One thing that the Asante Hene admonished the vice president about is one that he should own the challenges that the economy has gone through. In fact, in his words, he should be frank about them and be honest with it, acknowledging that indeed there's been challenges. Has the vice president done that on this tour? Talking to the people and acknowledging that indeed we have a challenge, we have an economic crisis on our hands that would affect a lot of the promises that he's making for 2025 and beyond. Hello, Miracles.
Hi, Ivan.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you
Yes.
now. Sorry, I had a low bit.
Okay.
So thank you. I think today the vice president successfully is bringing his tour in the Ashanti region to an end, and it's been a very engaging 3 days campaign tour. I listened to Nana, who has been with us throughout the period, and I think it's giving quite a very vivid picture of what's been going on. The vice president, in all his engagement, has acknowledged the obvious challenges that our economy has gone through in the past 2 years, but also at the same time has also outlined some of the successes that we've achieved in the midst of these challenges. And then he's outlined what the vision and the plan for dealing with these and several other sectors going forward would be. That has been the outline for the vice president's conversation. He always goes into where we have come from, and then he would go into what we've been able to do, what the challenges have been, which he speaks of as well, and then ultimately what he believes is the way forward for us as a country.
One of the things that he said on this tour in the Ashanti region is promising the chiefs what he calls a living allowance. How is he going to fund that?
Okay, so the living allowance is already there. Paramount chiefs in this country are already being paid. In fact, they are being given allowances before we even came into office as a government. Since we came, it was I think it was around 400 cities, if I get that correct. And then subsequently, this government increased it from 400 to 1,000 cities for paramount chiefs. I think what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been rather talking about is to bring in the divisional chiefs and queen mothers into that bracket. So he is not promising anything new for chiefs. He's rather trying to bring in some other categories of chiefs, i.e. the divisional chiefs and the queen mothers into the bracket. And he believes that we need to treat that as part of our cost of running this country, the same way we are taking care of all other public sector employees or service providers. The reason is chiefs are crucial. In his view, he finds the chiefdom very crucial and critical towards the development of this country, especially when it comes to governance at the local level. And you know that when you get into paramountcies, the chiefs who are really in touch and actually in touch with the people are the divisional chiefs. They are the ones who are holding various arms of the paramountcy, and they deal with the people on daily basis. And so if you find it prudent to pay the paramount chief, and if you want to really get these chiefs to help in pushing development at the local level and helping with the governance and keeping the fabric of our society together at the local level, then we might as well bring in the divisional chiefs and the queen mothers. And that's a commitment that as a country he believes we need to do.
So that's definitely then will increase the numbers that the state will have to take care of.
Absolutely.
How is he funding that?
The same way we fund all other public sector employees or workers.
Yeah,
that's the same way we have to find money to pay.
Yes.
Today, as we speak today, we have employment going on for teachers. We have employment going on for medical doctors. We have employment going on for local government staff. Auditor General is employing. We are finding money for it, and so we'll find money for these as well.
How much is that going to cost you, though?
I don't have the cost at the moment.
How many chiefs in all, paramount chiefs, divisional chiefs, queen mothers, are you estimating you have to take care of?
I believe that the divisional chiefs and the paramounts are already being paid, so you can bring that in. But the divisional chiefs, just as paramounts are being created all the time and they are being roped in because they are being taken care of, the divisional chiefs and the divisions as we have within our traditional system, no matter the numbers, we have to make sure that we are doing what we need to do to get them to also contribute towards the development of this country.
And let's talk about the Ashanti region for a second. I mean, this is the party's stronghold, and it's been said quite widely that his running mate will come from the Ashanti region. He's been there now, and in the lead up to this, you hear people talk about that Ashanti region will be very central to either your defeat or your victory. Now that he's been there on the ground, he's felt the mood there. What's the overriding impression, reflections that you're taking out of that stronghold?
You can see MPP will win these elections come December 7th, and we're going to win it resoundingly. And it will not be a shock because from what we've heard, not just from Ashanti region, but from all the 16 regions that we've visited so far, it's clear. The people of Ghana believe that the future is at stake. They believe that in every country there are successes, challenges. But what is crucial is that they just have to make a straight choice between a former vice president and a former president who has had a chance to do whatever it is that he can do for this country. And they are poised and committed in ensuring that they elect Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to also bring on board the fresh ideas, the new things that he believes he has for this country. The people are eager and anxious to see all the things Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia speak of come to fruition. You heard some of the chiefs you played saying clearly that they want Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to stick to his word and pursue the things that he's talking about. And so the sense in Ashanti region is one of expectations, in one of high expectations, let me put it that way, one of anticipation for the new chapter of Ghana's development, the new ideas and the new way of doing things that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is being talking about. And the people are really looking forward to that. That is why we are leaving Ashanti region today with all confidence, highly inspired, that we need to continue to push forward to ensure that we get the entire country rallying behind Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to win this election and win it resoundingly. You saw the numbers. You saw the enthusiasm of the people. Every sect of the people that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia engaged in the last 3 days, you saw the energy. And that sends a very clear message to the rest of the country. That Ashanti region is ready. Eastern region is ready. Central region is ready. Northern, Upper East, Upper West, Northeast, Savannah, Volta, Greater Accra region, Western, Central are all ready to ensure that we see a Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia presidency come January 7, 2025.
Well, Professor Ali Dusedu, he's gone back now to the party stronghold. He's met with the Asantehene and the chiefs there. How important is it that this happens? And you've heard the take there from the campaign team themselves. They believe they've seen enough there to indicate to them that it will yield fruits on December 7. You share that view?
I thank you to you, Evans, and to your listeners. I think Dr. Mahamudu Bamiye's campaign in the Ashanti region and what he has done all this far, I will analyze it at two different perspectives. One, the strategy or the method, and then two, the messaging. So in terms of the strategy and then the approach or the methodology, I think it has been fantastic so far. His ability to go deep down to the grassroots, door to door, house to house, have been able to meet identifiable groups, either market women, chiefs, traditional authorities, business community, and all those things. I think that has been good. The decentralization of the campaign to the grassroots level, to the doorstep of the ordinary Ghanaian, is one of the most effective ways to campaign. Even though critics say that, people are bad, people are brought from different places to come and cheer him up, at least he has decentralized the campaign to the doorstep of the ordinary voter. And a lot of people do appreciate it. So in terms of the optics and then the strategy and the approach, I think is one of the best and one of the most effective way to reach out to the voters. The second level is the messaging. And it is quite clear, it came up strongly, maybe indirectly from the Otunfo's admonishment and word of advice for him that he should acknowledge the current challenges that the country is going through and also acknowledge, maybe he didn't say that, but the second bit I want to add is that acknowledge that he is part of this government and perhaps part of the problems, and this is how we are going to address it moving forward. I think to that particular level, there have been a little bit of disconnect. Other, to some extent, the vice president is promising to reverse the things that this government has done, which he is part of, maybe to some extent distancing himself from it. Or maybe it has been a dose of campaign promises, which arguably our economy may not be able to support after from January 2025. So realistically, I think it is important that as descendant as we Ghanaians are, politicians are very measured in what they say, looking at our history and our current state of the economy and resources that we have at our disposal, and be able to connect to the people in a manner that when they come to power, they are able to redeem the promises so that it will restore confidence back to the ordinary voter to believe and actually hold in high esteem that when politicians say they will do this, they will actually do it.
Professor Ali Dusedu, thank you very much. And Ella, you had Miracle Dennis Abuajit there, who's the Director of Communications at with the Bawumia campaign team. And if you're in the Ashanti region, I want to hear from you on the store that has ended today with the Vice President there. You're still listening to Newsnight. It's on Joy 99.7 FM. And I want to take it to Parliament now, where the minority, they've given the government 24 hours to clear all Global Fund medical consignments from the ports. Hundreds of containers of medical supplies shipped to Ghana has been locked up at the port for over 2 years because government has failed to waive taxes on the goods. Now, after clearing 14 of the containers this year, government is unable to clear the remaining 185 due to the cost of demurrage. Now, civil society organizations on health have already declared their intention to protest over the delayed clearance. They're going to be protesting on June 25th. Now, addressing a press conference in Parliament today, the ranking member on the Health Committee, Kwabena Mintah Kando, says Ghana currently owes some 33 million cedis of the country's counterpart funding. Listen to him.
I knew, and I've always known, that this government is irresponsible. But I didn't know this level of irresponsibility. This level of irresponsibility is unprecedented, to say the least. And it will shock you to know that even when Global Fund was shipping these commodities to Ghana, they added something for clearing. And per my calculation, they added not less than $2 million. And Ghana government gets back to them, and he tells them that, look, we have increased our port charges, and therefore, the money you have given us is not enough to clear these commodities from the port. Who does this? Who does this? And these services or grant has taken place since 2002. Till now, we have cycles, and we are now in our 7th cycle. And the 7th cycle alone, we are benefiting not less than $248 million and an additional $100 million. Even the counterpart funding we are supposed to pay. And this counterpart funding, it is not money that must be paid to Global Fund. It is show me evidence of procurement. Whatever you need, 15% of the money I'm giving you. So the 15% of the 248, go and buy whatever you need as a country and come and show me the evidence, and I'll continue to give you whatever you need. And even with that counterpart funding, it's tug of war.
I want to bring in my colleague James Abeji. He's been at that press conference and joins me right now on the line. And James, so what action is the minority side proposing that they'll be taking?
Evans, Honorable Akando has made it clear that if the materials or the containers are not cleared from the port, they would employ every other measure available to them, and that could include dragging the minister responsible, the ministers of finance as well as the health ministers, to the floor of parliament. This press conference came at the back of a meeting the minority side of the committee held with leadership of the CSOs in health as well as the representative of the CCM. And he said that the indication they got is that the situation is dire. There could be a shortage of the items they have listed in there. And so, reason why they want government to take an immediate step to clear the goods.
Just respect to the president and his vice president. This country is not for them. This country is governed by the taxpayers' money. And the taxpayers' money must be put to judicious use. And with immediate effect, the president and his vice must make sure that these drugs are cleared from the port to save lives in this country. Nothing, absolutely nothing can justify this incompetence. And to tell you the truth, I was part of the delegation to WHA, and it was an embarrassing scene. We were embarrassed. It came up in 3 side meetings. In all the meetings, we bowed our heads in shame. It's an international embarrassment. And therefore, Mr. President and your Vice President, at least the right to health care is enshrined in the 1992 Constitution. And you should not continue to disgrace Ghana like you continue to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is our expectation that within the next 24 hours, we must hear something positive with regards to the clearing of the containers containing the drugs from the port.
Well, the health ministry, they've told us that we can expect a statement in the next 24 hours on this unfolding story as it relates to the uncleared medical consignments at the ports. And as you've heard this week from the Ghana Medical Association, if nothing is done, we're going to have shortages in tuberculosis and malaria drugs across the country. In fact, the Ghana Medical Association says some hospitals are already experiencing shortages or as far as these drugs are concerned. It also includes insecticide-treated mosquito nets too, especially at the time when we've seen the rainy season is here and the breeding of mosquitoes become an issue. We're expecting to hear from the Health Ministry in the next 24 hours. When we do, we'll tell you what they've been saying. So listening to News Studies on Joy 99.7 FM. Still ahead uncertainty over this year's BECE and WASSCE examinations because of the indebtedness of WAEC.
For basic education, we won't talk about that because they owe them well over 90 million.
The BEC is coming on next month, and they need to prepare financially with resources.
That if the trend should continue this way, then they are going to have problems with the conduct of the examination.
We have details for you because government owes them 300 million cedis, and they also owe their suppliers huge amounts of money. Printing of the papers itself is a challenge. We'll bring you details after business. Hello, James.
Hello, Evans. Coming up in business tonight, Government Station expresses concerns over impact of high transportation costs on inflation as it calls on policymakers to address issues causing fuel price increases. And government targets small businesses and infrastructure projects with $2 billion fresh funding from the Afri-Exim Bank. Business News on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, Syntex, Tanks, and Pepsi and Charcoal and Herbal.
Hey, so as for you, every day you are just pressing your phone. Why? Are they paying you?
They are, Oma.
Eh?
The more I use my MTN, the more points I get. And I can use those points to get airtime, data, and even discounts at shops and restaurants.
Hey, so that is why all of you are always pressing your phones. And you won't tell us, so that we can enjoy some.
Oh, ma.
There's always more to enjoy with MTN Rewards. Just keep talking, testing, and browsing all day, every day to collect your points and use it to redeem amazing offers and discounted freebies right away. There's so much available for you. So dial *550# and get your reward today. Let's go. Everywhere you go.
Kweku, have you heard what they are doing on MTN?
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first point of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Osu Akwaje, or our office near the Osu Stadium. We're also in Tema Community 1, opposite Olam SHS, Kumasi KNUST campus, UCC Cape Coast, and now at the Marina Mall, Airport City. Or call us 0302 764101, 764209, or 762792. Visit our website www.kingdomgh.com.
Water is needed all day, all night. So remember Syntex tank all day, all night. 7 years warranty. Select any color for free. In no de crack, in no de spoil. Call Accra on 0244 335 168. Kumasi 0505 555 666. Syntex tank. A strong, a tough. Water is needed all day, all night. So remember Syntex tank all day, all night. 7 years warranty. Select any color for free. In no de crack, in no de spoil. Call Accra on 0244 335 168. Kumasi 0505 555 666. Syntex tank. A strong, a tough.
Choboy! We have a new leader in town. OBRNT. Amafo. Madam was Sibebre. When him say my baby, maybe mama more charcoal for whiter teeth. More charcoal. Not only that, maybe mama lemon. More lemon. Zinc for fresher breath. More zinc. And fluoride for stronger teeth.
Introducing the new President Charcoal packed with more power with a combination of charcoal and lemon for naturally whiter teeth. Grab yours now. This advert is FDA approved.
Hello, my name is Mami Akua, an entrepreneur and a mother of two. My work keeps me busy most of the time and sometimes it takes me away from my family. But the safety and health of my family is very important to me. As a working mother, I cannot afford to take any chances when it comes to matters of health. That is why I signed up for a family healthcare plan from Equity Health Insurance. My family and I have access to over 700 hospitals, clinics, opticians, dentists, pharmacies, and diagnostic centers across the length and breadth of Ghana. With Equity Health Insurance, I no longer have to worry about medical bills. Anytime a member of my family visits a hospital, Equity Health Insurance has got my family and I covered. What about you? Who has got you covered?
Call Equity Health Insurance on 050-660-7910 and talk to them about your family health needs now. Visit equityhealthinsurance.com for more information. Equity Health Insurance, here for you.
Welcome back to Business on Newsnight. I am James Ishan. Let's settle for the details. And the government statistician, Professor Samuel Kobnei-Nim, has advised government to address issues influencing cost of the transportation in the country. He gave the advice after he announced that transportation component recorded a month-on-month inflation of 10.5%. Inflation for the month of May 2024 declined to 23.1%. But stressing on the high cost of transportation, Professor Nim advised policymakers to pay attention to factors driving inflation to go up in the sector to mitigate its impact on the public.
In this case, what I want the media and policymakers to engage discussion on is not food inflation, but in this case, is transport, where we are seeing a month-on-month transport inflation of 10.5%, when overall month-on-month is 3.2%. And we all do appreciate how transport permeates across the other items that we have in the basket for the computation. So a conversation that I really wish it would be on the table going forward is how do we ensure that the consistent but slowly increases in prices of fuel at the pumps would slow down and possibly see reduction going forward.
And that was government statistician Samuel Kobnei-Nim there speaking. Now let's do some other stories. And Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam says work on some critical stalled infrastructure projects will resume soon. This comes after government announced a significant milestone in its debt restructuring journey, having reached an agreement on a memorandum of understanding with its official creditor committee. Dr. Amin Adam, speaking at a press conference, said government is still on course to implement other measures to stabilize the cedi.
We also expect disbursement for stalled projects, which I talked about earlier, to also resume. I'm not able to tell you exactly when. Some have indicated that they will start disbursement immediately. Others want to wait for us to sign the bilateral agreements, which we hope to do in the next few weeks or months. So that will also come in to boost our reserves. And you know the implications of increasing reserves for the currency.
Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam is the finance minister. Now, the International Monetary Fund will, in the coming days, set a date to meet on Ghana's second program review and approve some $360 million for the country. This was after the official creditor committee officially informed the IMF about the debt restructuring deal reached with Ghana. George Riafi has the rest of the story.
Joy Business is learning that the official creditor committee, in an email, formally communicated to the IMF about this development and the impact on the whole debt restructuring and sustainability going forward. Now, based on this development, Ghana has now met all the conditions needed for the IMF board to meet on the country and approve the second tranche funding to government. The fund was initially looking at financing assurance from these bilateral creditors, but it looks like the IMF now has more than what they were even looking forward to aid this meeting on the country. This development will also trigger other donor funding for Ghana in the coming days.
A report by George Riafi there. Now, government has revealed it will be targeting small businesses and infrastructure projects with fresh funding from the Afrexim Bank. Ghana is currently negotiating with the Afrexim Bank for $2 billion to support some sectors of the economy. Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Abena Osiasare, has been speaking to Joy Business in Nassau, Bahamas, on the sidelines of the Afrexim Bank 2024 annual general meetings.
Coming here to also interact with our partners, including the Afrexim, to make sure
we get some support, especially for the SME space. Next month, the President is going to launch the SME Growth and Opportunities Fund, and we're looking for some monies to fund the private sector, because we believe that it's not just the public sector, that the private sector and the public sector must come together to propel that growth and transformation that we're looking for. So that is what
What would this mean going forward in terms of more funding for other critical sectors in the economy from the Afri-Exim Bank?
Yes, we're working together with our partners, with the Afri-Exim Bank. We will take advantage of every opportunity that the space that we have locally will allow us to, and then collaborate with them to make sure we bring in some more funding. But currently, as I speak, we're looking at infrastructure. More importantly, we're also looking at supporting the SME Growth and Opportunities Fund that the government is going to launch next month.
Abnausi Asare is the Minister of State and the Finance Minister. And that's all for business on Newsnight with me, James Ishan. Over to you, Evans.
James, thank you very much. Now, there is uncertainty tonight over this year's basic and senior high school certificate examinations. The minority in Parliament has been detailing the extent of government's indebtedness to the West Africa Examination Council, WAEC. Government is yet to pay preparation cost of over 300 million cedis to WAEC. The council consistently raised concerns about government's failure to release the funds. Now, the BEC is just a month away, but the outstanding payment threatens to disrupt the administration of the exams. Listen to the ranking member on Parliament's Education Committee, Peter Nochukotoi.
We still have some arrears of 2022 to be cleared, which is about 9,972,000 for the 2022 WASE, which is outstanding. Then again for 2023, before Friday, it was 56,515,000. They have paid 10 million, so remaining 46,515,000 Ghana cedis being owed to WAEC. As for 2024, government has not touched it at all, which is in the sum of 178,342,000. That is what they are owing. So if you put that of WASE together, it is 224,857,000 total for WAEC, for WASE alone, 2022, 2023, and 2024. Now, if you come to BEC, for 2023, they have just 698,000 outstanding. 2024, the cost is 95,837,000. They have given them only 2.3 million. Now 93 million is outstanding. So if you put what is outstanding plus the 698,000 for 2023, there is an outstanding money of 94 million on the 2023 and 2024 BEC to be cleared.
Well, Nochukoto also revealed that WAEC is currently losing experienced examiners due to the council's inability to pay for services provided.
What is happening is that they are losing seasoned examiners who moderate the questions, who prepare the marking scheme and do a lot of things for them, because they are coming to do work for you, you are not paying them. So they don't want to do it again. So you see that they have to take on new examiners who are not experienced, and that is creating a problem for them. The rate at which they are losing seasoned examiners, if it is not stopped, WAEC will have a big challenge in delivering on a quality examination for us as a country. Because if the examiner does not understand the depth of the or the content of the answers or the questions, and he goes to mark anything, he will be subjective. Either he will undermark, let me use the word, undermark a candidate. You see, will not give the candidate the deserved grade or mark. That is where we are going to have the challenge.
Well, he's also been talking about the potential impact of this failure of government to release the 300 million cedis to WAEC on the forthcoming examinations, both WASE and the BECE.
The issue is that government or the Minister of Finance should not wait until we make noise before they release money for the conduct of the examination. Last year we had to do it. 2022 we had to do it. Do we need to do it again this year? So I was proposing to the chairman of the committee that we should invite the Minister for Finance, we should invite the Minister for Education, then we should invite the national officer for WAEC, so that we sit down and then probably draw a roadmap and see how soon monies can be released to WAEC to enable them conduct them, because the BEC is coming on next month and they need to prepare financially with resources to carry out their mandate. So they need money. Then again, August, the WASE will also begin. And it's all about money. So our call is, let's meet these people, especially the one holding the purse, and see how they can release money to it, to the WAEC. Because 224 million Ghana cedis that they are withholding from WAEC, I think can go a long way to alleviate their challenges.
Well, my colleague, Mamisi Nyamisha Chomsing, has been looking into this and talking to her sources at the WAEC ahead of the examinations. And Mami, what have you learned?
So, Evans, I'm picking up that the exams will indeed come on from the 8th of July to the 15th of July. And as I speak to you, printing of examination papers are ongoing. The thing is, we are unable to confirm whether there is enough money to fund the printing and other logistics needed for the exam. And we know that a little over 500,000 candidates are to be partaking in this exam, which is coming up in about a month's time, and that's what the examination body is preparing for. Indeed, my sources at WAEC admit that government owes the council, and some payments have been done, but we're yet to get the full complement of how much.
Also joining us with some thoughts on this is the Vice Chair on the Education Committee, Prince Hamiduama, joins us right now. Ms. Ama, thanks for your time here on Newsnight. So your colleagues on the minority side say the government owes WAEC some 300 million CDs that they're yet to release. Is that your understanding too, based on the briefing you've received at the committee level?
Good evening, Evans, and good evening to your cherished listeners. I want to state that this occurrence is always the case. It didn't start today. It has always been so. And because of the processes that the WAEC has to go through before the monies are released. We're not sure that, and I'm not saying that is a very comfortable situation, but just to make a point that this has always been the case over the last 10 years. The key thing is that if we take each of the examinations, we don't have to lump them together. In 2023, government paid over 80 million Ghana cedis towards the BEC. The 2024, out of the budget that they've made, government has paid 2.5 million plus, an additional 6 million plus to WAEC. As of last week, Friday, the director of WAEC met the education committee in Koforidua, of which I was in there as a vice chairman, together with a ranking member, and they reported to us that they had received 10 million Ghana cedis. There are outstanding monies that need to be paid. But just to make the point that government has demonstrated commitment towards making payments and ensuring that the examination are conducted continuously.
But is what the government owes 300 million?
The point is that the figures that you mentioned, I don't know of 300 million. I don't know of any 300 million. I don't know where the 300 million is coming from. But what I know is that 2023, the total budget that WAEC submitted to the government in respect of the BEC was about 86 million Ghana cedis. The government has paid the entire money. We left with only 698,000. That's outstanding.
But there are arrears, are there not, from previous years?
This year, and as we speak now, you can cross-check from WAEC. They are not owing any invigilator. They are not owing any examiner as far as the
what about the printers? What about the printing
they are not
houses that
they are not
engage?
owing anyone as far as the BEC is concerned. You see, there are distinctions. We have to properly disaggregate the information. So if we lump them together, we will not be able to assist our listeners to appreciate the issues. I'm telling you that the BEC is the first exams to be conducted. As we speak now, they are in the preparation of organizing the materials and the rest. Monies have been released, 2.5 million released, that have gone through the gift mix, and WAEC has assessed them as I speak to you now, and I talk to you on authority.
And what about
6 million, additional 6 million has also been released. But you know that the whole exercise is a process. You don't release the money lump sum. It doesn't happen that way. They come continuously at any phase where money is needed. The payments are made. So I am very optimistic that by the time we get to the end of this month, additional monies would have been released.
Yeah, you've talked about the
again,
BEC.
it's important to raise the issues at this point.
What about the WASI?
Yeah, so in respect of the WASI, I understand that last year, government made commitment and paid 40 million Ghana cedi towards WASI. This year budget is in preparation. We need to complete BECE first before we can go to WASI and then start thinking about the financing the WASI. But what is before us currently is the BECE, and I've indicated to you that government has made commitment to it. And I've also indicated to you that the executive director or the chief executive of WAEC made a presentation to us in Koforidua over the weekend and admitted and actually shared with the committee that just the Friday before coming to the meeting, government had released 10 million cedis in addition for them to support the operation.
Thank you very much. That's Prince Ahmad there. He is a vice chair of the Education Committee in Parliament. A few of your messages on WhatsApp console now I want to share with the rest of the world. Sami in Kumasi says, no matter how enticing the promises are to the people of the Ashanti region, for that matter, Ghanaians in general, the MPP will go into position. Sami says there. And another one also on the subject of WAEC, and David says, Nana Ado's government, he says, is an embarrassment to the world. He says on the subject of the WAEC, toying with our health, devastating our educational sector by owing WAEC and many sectors as well. His thoughts there on the subject with WAEC. And we also have a comment there from Kofi Seru, who says Otumfuo's admonishment to Bawumia to take responsibility when it comes to the mess of this current government that it is part of is a clear indication that Mr. Bawumia can't absolve himself from responsibility. And I want to take a final one on that same subject with the campaign in the Ashanti region. What has Dr. Bawumia and his MPP government done for the good people of the Ashanti region that makes him think he deserves their vote? Is a question that he's asked. And joining me right now for sports is Ms. Bao. Hello, Ms.
Yeah, hello, Evans. Well, the battle to, retain your place in the Ghana Premier League is still on. Well, Dreams FC, until today, they were still battling to avoid relegation, but they managed to defeat Real Tamale United by 8-1 to, secure guarantee safety in the Ghana Premier League. Now, for Real Tamale United, on the other hand, they are likely to face some severe sanctions from the Ghana Football Association after it was revealed that the club fielded some unregistered players in that defeat to Dreams FC. Now, RTU's registered players had boycotted the match due to 6 months of unpaid salaries. And in a desperate move to avoid forfeiting the game, RTU reportedly recruited players from Division 2 sides, including Galaxy FC. Now, this makeshift team were indeed overwhelmed by Dreams FC, leading to a record defeat at the Theatre of Dreams. And the GFA is expected to take stringent action against RTU with potential penalties, including a lifetime ban from all competitions. So keep tabs on that and see how the GFA responds. But still on the GFA, the Ghana Football Association Communications Director, Henry Asanchichum, has cautioned fans to be measured in the expectations of the Black Stars after back-to-back wins this month. Otuado, the lead Ghana on match day 3 and 4 of the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers, defeating Mali and Central African Republic in Bamako and Kumasi respectively. Speaking to Joy Sports, Henry Asanchichum acknowledged the strong start to the new era while sounding a caution to Ghanaians.
We have started on a very positive note, and we pray for more. But in the course of this journey, I don't want to believe that Ghana will win every game. There will be days where we will not play well and win. There will be days where we will play well and still not win. There will be disappointments. There will be a lot of pain in the course of this journey. But in all of that, we believe in him. We believe in the technical competence of the entire backroom staff, which is why we assembled them, and we are looking ahead to our glory days.
That's Henry Asanchichum, Communications Director of the Ghana Football Association. And even as we build into the Euros, remember live commentary is going to be on your superstation Joy FM. It starts on Friday. It's Germany versus Scotland in the opening game there. Evans.
Oh, and I'm looking forward to it. It's all going to be here, right?
Yeah, we'll bring you
great commentary
on Joy here.
Your prediction, who wins the tournament?
I'm thinking 3 teams actually.
Okay.
Germany, France, and possibly England.
I was waiting for you to say England.
Yeah,
you know that England. Are they still saying it's coming home?
This time they're not saying that. I think they're being a bit more careful this time.
Better. Thank you very much, Bao. And you want to stay with us for that because we bring you exclusive commentary here on Joy 99.7 FM of the Euros starting this weekend. Now, tonight, the Chief Executive Officer of Cocoa Board is sounding upbeat about the fortunes of Ghana's cocoa sector. Despite the battering the industry took in the last year, Cocoa Board saw a decrease in cocoa production in the first quarter of 2024 compared to last year, resulting in a fall in revenue by more than $500 million in the first quarter alone. Now, we've been hearing from him today on the Super Morning Show. He's been talking to my colleagues Winston Amwa on the show, and Dr. Boahin Edu blamed extreme weather conditions for the low production being experienced in the country.
First, you have the structural problems. Climate change, of course, is number one. And then illegal mining. Then, of late, smuggling is also another factor. All these are affecting. But what has really affected our production significantly this year, yes, our production is down this year, very, very down, can be attributed to what we call El Nino effect.
Which is?
El Nino. El Nino is extreme weather condition. It's extreme heat waves generated in the Pacific Ocean, and depending upon where it is blowing. If it is, moving across dry areas, it will bring dryness. If it is moving across, water bodies, it will bring wetness. And last year, unfortunately for us, whereas the Mediterranean, Spain and other places, we had a lot of wildfires, we were experiencing excessive rainfall. Excessive. And cocoa doesn't lack too much water. When there is too much rain and the soil is waterlogged, the root hairs cannot, extract nutrients.
Well, we heard from the former executive director of the Peasant Farmers Association, Dr. Charles Nyaba, who says government has neglected the sector, hence the dwindling fortunes being witnessed. You remember that today is Wednesday, and so we bring you fact checking. And we are focusing tonight on the claims made by Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia on the number of Ghana cards issued. He made this claim during his interaction with the youth in Dambai on the 31st of May 2024 as part of his campaign tour of the OT region. Head of our research desk, Raymond Akwa, has more on the claims and the verdicts in this report.
The MPP presidential aspirant claimed that the number of Ghana cards issued by the National Identification Authority is 17.6 million.
Today, we have issued Ghana cards to 17.6 million adult Ghanaians.
The vice president's claim is contradicted by the official data available on the website of the National Identification Authority.
Okay.
The NI's official data states that the total registration as of 24th May 2024 stood at 17,920,903. with 17,793,172 being printed. The data further states that the total number of Ghana cards issued as of the 24th of May 2024 were 17,183,090. That's 17.18 million,
Right.
which is below the 17.6 million stated by the flag bearer of the NPP. Again, if you take the other figure, which was released by the same institution on June 4th, 2024,
Right.
as that's 4 days after the claim was made, the total number of Ghana cards issued was 17,193,142. which is still below the 17.6 million stated by the flag bearer of the NPP. Of course, in between the 24th of May and the 4th of June, the total number of cards that were issued was 10,052. And there's no evidence that the NIA has issued 17.6 million cards.
All the details of fact-checking today is on the My Joy online portal. You can also catch it across our social media platforms. And just before you go, I have good news for all old Toms across the length and breadth of this country, because we've been bouncing back this year. We had a setback last year, but one-time champions, you know us, St. Thomas Aquinas. We've started the quest for a second trophy as far as the national signs and mass quiz is concerned, with a resounding victory in the regional qualifiers. The old Toms, we faced some heartbreaking defeats in the past 3 years, as you may well know, but we are now eyeing the regional crown with newfound confidence. And we've been doing quite exceptionally well on the trail today, and so we're looking forward to winning this year, hands down. And there's a lady who's standing in front of me who's giggling and is giving me a certain sense that she's jealous because her own school has struggled in the past. A setting, what's the name of the school?
Seriously?
What's the name of the school again?
Seriously?
A setting, was it Wege? Was it?
Is it Wege?
I'm just wondering.
Continue with your story, bro.
Oh, I'm done.
Like, excite yourself.
Oh,
and jubilate all by yourself.
I'm done. I'm just wondering, what's the name of the school again?
Wesley Girls.
Oh, that school. Oh, okay, that school that struggles. They always, like Arsenal, bottless. They get to the end and then they just fall off.
Okay.
Almost there.
You're expecting an argument.
Almost there.
No, you people will display for us to see.
Okay.
We will be here.
We are here.
We will be here.
We are here. By the way, they're listening to you. You can defend your own school. It's okay. But we can defend what's coming up next.
I'm not going to defend it.
Yes, yeah. But what's coming up next? That you can talk about.
Okay, so Evans, tough one. I think for you and I both. It's Father's Day coming up on Sunday. So we're talking about the daddy-daughter relationship today, and today's show is very casual. We just want to celebrate our dads, and really, what's the word? So there are a lot of times when my kid's dad will do something for my daughter, and I tell him how much what he does means to her, because he doesn't understand what it is. But I do, because I know what my dad meant to me when I was a teenager. And I think that sometimes we have to really bring it to the forefront, the real impact that a good father has on the life of his daughter. Economic-wise, in her love life, the kind of husband she'll choose, the kind of woman she'll be, how much confidence she has. So we want to do that today, just, celebrating dads on earth and dads in heaven.
Oh, goodness me. I can't wait to hear that. Especially when